I thought of this too late to ask the other guys, but
Yeah.
is there one specific thing that happened that caused you to want to write the first book?
One specific thing that caused me to want to write the book.
One event.
Yeah, it was a horrible case of food poisoning and indigestion. I guess some of you have already heard this, but I'll run through it again. When I was in grad school, my primary study area was military history and the history of technology at Purdue University. And I was made familiar with the issue of CME but EMP while a graduate student. It lingered in the back of my mind. I even thought at one point of writing a science fiction novel in which EMP happened. I always got driven. I'm going to throw this idea out. Somebody else wants to write it out. It's just, I was always crazy when the aliens come and then they just start bing, 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 bing. You know, they just shoot individual people, or they shoot down the airplanes like in Independence Day, or maybe they pop a little city. It's dumb. I remember one where the aliens came to steal our water. That really got to me. Or why are they always kidnapping attractive girls and carrying them back to their spaceships? Well, I can understand a little bit. But, so I came up with an idea, the easiest way, if there were bad aliens out there, just about 20 years before they're interested in bothering us, just orbit half a dozen EMP generators and just start popping the planet every day, take the global grid down, and in 20 years, the few of us that are still here are easy pickings. But to go to how the book started, July 2004, I was in Washington, D.C. to spend a couple of days with Newt Gingrich. And Newt and I had co-authored a book series, an alternate history about the Battle of Gettysburg. And we had a grand time doing it. Newt and I would wind up writing 9 books together. He really is about the most brilliant guy I've ever known. You talk with him, it's like having somebody aim a fire hose straight at you. It's just like you're trying to get the data. So on that particular day, I get to where we're going to meet. What we used to do is we pop a hotel suite. Maybe a couple other people would be there to help. And somebody's holding up Days of Infamy and another book. Yeah, To Try Men's Souls. I'm very proud of that one, To Try Men's Souls, which is actually not alternate history. It's a real history about Washington crossing the Delaware. So I'm waiting for Newt to show up because we're going to plot out a book called Grand Comes East. He comes walking into the room an hour late, pops some expletives, and Newt has very good control on his vocabulary. It was startling for me. It's not his normal character. Throws his attaché case, and another guy with him who became a very close friend and did the afterword for 1 second after, Bill Sanders. Bill was one of the Navy's top strategists and analysts on nuclear fighting issues. Newt snaps to Bill Sanders, what in the hell is Congress going to wake up about EMP? I'm absolutely sick of it, da-da-da-da-da. And I go, Newt, are you talking about electromagnetic pulse? And he's like, what the heck do you know about that? He was in a frustrated mood. I said, well, I do have to know about it, electromagnetic pulse weapons. Now here's Newt's story. On that day, the Congressional Committee on the Threat of EMP released its study, the 2004 study. How many of you read the study? Anyone? Everybody should read it. Well, you can all read the declassified section. And he goes on how this report came out and nobody was there because the entire mainstream media and everybody else was at the opposite end of Capitol Hill because that was the day the congressional report on 9/11 came out. As I said, it's like the two-faced god Janus of Roman mythology. We were looking backwards to the previous war rather than forward to the next one. So, rather than talk about Civil War, we spend the whole rest of the day and the evening talking about EMP. By the end of the evening, Newt says, you really should write a book because nobody knows what the heck this is about. Following day, he introduces me to Congressman Roscoe Bartlett, who chaired the committee on the report. I talked to Congressman Bartlett, the exact same thing. He said there's no constituency. Nobody pays attention to it. Nobody even knows what the heck it is. So it fell on deaf ears. I drive home that night, and my daughter was 11 at the time. I'm a single dad. And I remember getting home, and one of my students was babysitting for, and I go to look in, 1 o'clock in the morning just to make sure my kid's okay. And I freely admit, I broke down in tears. It was just like, my God, what am I going to do? I mean, this suddenly came right in my forefront. EMP is real. Nobody is thinking about it. Nobody's talking about it. To go to the punchline, I spent a year trying to get a book off the ground. I wasn't going anywhere. And then at a graduation ceremony for Montreat College, I'm a professor at Montreat. We are an incredible school. We graduate about 100 kids a year. I know all of them because I most likely taught all of them. And I know their families, and I know the members of the board and the faculty and everything else. And the graduation speaker is droning on and on and on. And I'm getting hot and tired, and those robes are hot. I always tell people I got a PhD because I have robe envy as a Catholic kid, and I want to be able to wear those cool robes at least once a year. And it suddenly hit me. There's my story. I'll write about us. I'll write about Black Mountain. I'll write about Montreat College. I'll write about what happens in my beloved little town, which on page 1 I refer to as a Norman Rockwell painting come to life. And that's how the book got started. And then it took 4 years because a lot of argument with publishers and such, and hit the NYT, and I was like, what? And the rest is kind of history.